Hello, Queen Street. It's Angelo here. I apologize for not being able to make it to your staff meeting this evening, but it's given me an opportunity to try something new and present the information that I would like to give you via screencast. Today I'm using QuickTime just to record my screen movements and just to give you a little bit of background information about what I am sharing with you today. Last night you would have received an email from me that had this image embedded. What this is all of the information, all of the resources, lesson plans, student work, and co-learning from our OFIP sessions. This year, with the year that it's been, you may have noticed that our OFIP sessions worked a little bit differently. I had the opportunity to have 2 half days with each grade level team, grades 1 through 5. You may have noticed that within the sessions, I was kind of pushing an agenda with Google Drive. And that is exactly what I'm going to share with you today. This was all done intentionally so that by the end of the year, I would be able to collect and organize and share the information to the whole school. Within the email I sent you, if you haven't seen already, was a shortened link and a QR code that takes you to the same place. Where that takes you is here. In the Google Drive, whether you've activated your Peel, Google or not, you'll have access to this forum. In here is all the grade level work, grades 1 through 5, and the information that I shared with staff at the beginning of May in the ELL Lunch and Learn. If you click through, each grade level, each member of Queen Street staff has access to the work regardless of your current assignment. We have the work in grade 1, which focused on creating rich reference points for students to organically come up with math vocabulary as opposed to pre-teaching math vocabulary. Students experienced it on their own and teachers worked to consolidate the experiences of the students. In grade 2, we worked on creating a math report card comment that was process-based, that talked about experiences, shared experiences, grouped experiences under the various strands of math. If you read through the comment, you'll notice a lot of the math language from the math processes, which we talked a lot about this year in our OFIP work. The grade 3 work was the first team that I got to work with, and this is a fascinating set of experiences here that was captured using video. Here, we have an entire lesson from the introduction of the learning goal, the task, checking in, all the way to the wrap-up and the debrief. My favorite part is the student work. In this OFIP, I experimented with environmental documentation. Basically, we signed out the iPads and set them to record. All student thoughts, muddling through the processes, trying to figure out what the task was, making connections without teacher intervention. Students being accountable to the success criteria through their own work. Fascinating stuff here. Observations, conversations, and products. True triangulation of student work. In grade 4, we focused on integrating more strategies such as open number lines. This is an example from grade 3. Here is an example from a colleague. Trying to use more visual strategies to build well-rounded number sense skills. And in grade 5, we dug a little bit deeper with representation of work, and we got to do so using Lego, which is always a treat. We also had a lot of conversation about triangulation and about different forms of assessment. What you may notice from my email is that there's a range of topics here. As I alluded to in the email, it's the true spirit of collaborative inquiry. This is our second year with our theory of action and the second year of doing this work, regardless of the shortened year. So as we dug deeper in grade levels, these topics appeared. But if you look at the theory of action in terms of supporting English language learners in developing a rich math vocabulary, all of this is relevant. And this is the reason why I wanted to capture and share all the other grade level work with the whole staff. So whether you're at Queen Street next year, if you're changing assignments or you're leaving, you have access to all the work that we've done together. And not to mention all of the resources from the ELL Lunch and Learn, which I sent out after my session in May. So, a couple of resources that I used today. I used a QR code generator just from this website. It's free. Of course, I used the Google Drive. I used YouTube to post this, so you wouldn't have to download a large file. And on my laptop, I just used QuickTime to record my screen movements. In terms of teaching resources, these are most of the resources that I used within the grade level teams. A couple of things I'd love to point out. If you're on Twitter, even if you don't post, you could still view, you could still read information. Following the hashtag ELLPeel, Assess Peel, and Engage Math still provides you with a wealth of resources. Assess Peel has been really popular this year in terms of sharing learning goals, success criteria, and assessment strategies. In terms of creating rich visual provocations that generate that math discussion, this is a great one. And a goodie from last year, 101 questions. A new resource this year is Marion Small's Open Questions, and we use this in grade 5 to help us get started, and it is a fabulous resource and shows you all the different ways to modify a question for the students that you have. So, as I said, you do not need your Peel Google account to access what I have here. It's in your email. The link permissions are removed, so if you have the link, you can access them. And if you don't have your email anymore, it is over here in the Shared Documents area on the My Site page. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of your co-learning, and I look forward to more in the future. Have a good day.